Okay, I'm here with Paul Gilbert. We're going to have a quick look through the pedals he's going to be using on stage with Mr. Big. So, Paul, just starting from left to right, we've obviously got the chromatic tuner. That goes...
Well, actually, I don't think of it as left to right because I think of it in terms of signal path.
Ah.
And so let's actually go right to left because that's our signal path. I start by going into a Boss DD3 digital delay, which I use for some tricky things in my solo.
Is that the only delay pedal the only delay you have?
Today, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, I've got a Keeley, I don't know what it's called, but it's like a fixed wah pedal. So it has two different, if you get your wah pedal and it's have it at that certain sweet spot.
Yeah.
This one actually has two adjustable sweet spots and you can switch between them. So that's nice for some solo things. Then I have an Ibanez airplane flanger, which actually is also dual purpose because it has one side of it is like a regular, kind of chorusy flange, and the other side goes crazy and gives you this big sweeping note. You don't even have to play the guitar; it just goes. It's sort of my substitute for having a whammy bar because I don't have a whammy bar, so I can just press on that.
You've got your. Is that your signature on there?
It is. It's a signature pedal.
Ah, right. Okay, I didn't know if you'd signed it yourself. Or...
I didn't sign it myself. They printed it that way.
Fantastic.
Then we've got an MXR Phase 90. It's the script one, which I guess is a little bit more vintage sounding. I actually like the new one too.
And the Van Halen one.
And that's right, they've got the Van Halen.
They do make the script one.
They're all good. I don't know if I can even hear the difference. That was just the one on top, so I grabbed it.
Yeah. And is that an original or a reissue?
That's a reissue.
Oh, okay.
And then I've got a Detox EQ, which is a pedal that I came up with a concept for, and a company called HBE, which stands for Homebrew Electronics, designed it for me. And it's works really nice because I set the amps up to have kind of a Rudolf Schenker amount of distortion.
Right, okay.
And then with that I can click on it and instantly clean up the sound. It's the equivalent of turning down the guitar's volume. But depending on what kind of pickups you have, that doesn't always work EQ-wise. If you have humbuckers, sometimes it's a little muddy when you do that. So with the EQ knobs, I can add some sparkle and really make it a nice clean sound without having to have a different amp channel.
Are you taking that bit of mid as well, or?
I don't even know. I just sort of tweak around with it until
you like it.
Until I like it. But it definitely is. It's. I do not use it as a boost. I use it as a cut.
As a cut.
I cut everything, and it just brings the whole guitar down to a nice clean sound. Then I've got another HBE pedal, which is a Bajo Mos or Bajo Mas. I don't know the pronunciation. My Spanish is poor. It's basically their red booster pedal with a picture of a cow on it.
Right.
And I really like it. It's actually, I think they built it for bass guitar. And so I think it's a little beefier than your normal guitar booster. It's really simple as one knob.
Yeah. And
it's just nice for not crazy distortion, but just a little bit extra boost. I like to use that for stuff where I'm trading off with Billy in the middle of the stage and I don't have time to come back and turn things off.
Right.
Because when I have a distortion pedal that has a lot of distortion, if I stop playing, it's noisy.
Right.
And so my solution to that is when I'm not playing, I turn it off. But the Bajo's, just enough where I can still do have enough gain that I need, but it's not noisy, so I can hang out in the middle of the stage or go to Billy's side, and we can do a trade-off, and it's not a disgusting amount of noise. The AC booster, I have everything cranked up, and that is a disgusting amount of noise. So when I have that, I don't stop.
Yeah.
But it's really nice because it makes the guitar a lot easier to play. A lot of sensitivity and has a nice tone to it. And just for the heck of it, I brought out an RC booster as well. Both of those are made by Exotic Effects, and they really have a different character. The AC is more of a warm kind of overdrive, and the RC is a little more has a nice fuzz to it, like a nice top end kind of sizzle. And that one I don't have set up so crazy. It's just for a little bit extra sizzle. I don't really even plan what I'm going to do with them. Just as I'm playing, I just go for different tones just to keep myself amused.
Yeah.
And I did something that I rarely do, which is I put my tuner at the end. Usually I have the tuner at the beginning, and I decided to put it at the end because usually by the end of the song I have so many pedals going that instead of going off, I just hit the tuner, and then that quiets everything up, and then while Eric's introducing the next song, I can sort of shut everything down and figure out what I'm going to do next. And really importantly, I've got a really good power supply, which is made by, you can't see it because it's covered up with my 230 volts
I've got the same one.
thing, but it's a Voodoo Labs
Voodoo Lab,
Pedal
yeah.
Power 2 Plus,
Yeah.
which is the best power supply in the world. They're so much better than the other ones. And but if you're going to travel, it's very important to label it because people will plug it into the wrong voltage and melt it.
Right.
And so I've got, and at home I've got ones for 230 volts. I've got 100 volt ones for Japan. I've got 120 for America. And I go to the hardware store and get the biggest letters or numbers I can and stick them on there. So plug them into the wrong voltage, and because you don't want to melt those. There's one more thing though. An important characteristic of this is I went to the hardware store and I bought the plywood and the Velcro, and I made this a shape where it will fit into one side of a double gig bag. So when I travel around, I've got one case. It'll fit a guitar on one side, a pedal board on the other side, and you can just I've reinforced it with some extra foam, and you can throw it under the plane, and you can travel with so much gear with very little space. So I've been building pedal boards for a while now, and I'm no stranger to the Velcro and the plywood.
What's the one pedal you can't do without?
Oh, the tuner.
Right. What's the one pedal that affects the sound that you can't do without?
It would sort of depend on the amp. With even on this tour, sometimes if we do a Scandinavian gig, we'll use rented backline. So really, if I prefer to use the vintage moderns, but they're a fairly new amps. So a lot of times if I do something like that and I have to rent gear, they don't have the vintage monitor. They'll have like a DSL or something, which is still a great amp.
Yeah.
But I might say one of the most important things is actually the hot plate.
Right.
Because I really like I like to get most of the overdrive from the amp, and